again, today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, the American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported nearing the Burmese oil fields. And that concludes the news summary. We now return you to our music program.
War or no war, a tenant in arrears is not a tenant I'll put up with. You don't pay more today, it's the street, I promise. Sneaking out, are you? I want me money. They said you was important once. Not now, you're just old and broke.
Today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the...
See here. This isn't about your dedication. Pringle certainly attests to your loyalty. No, your dismissal stems from the Titanic mission. That failure can no longer be ignored, especially now. I am sorry, but someone must shoulder the blame. The service, you understand. We can't be held responsible. The past, forever locked in regret. But what if the past could be changed? "30 years have come and gone since the night that saw the end of a world, my world. The service needed someone on the Titanic. They chose me. I was to wait for a signal from my contact, so I remained in my cabin. I left only once. Georgia was on board. And that's when it came. There'd be no second chance. It was Sunday, April 14th. Too late, you see, for the Titanic, for me. What if I'd met with my contact, prevented disaster? What if the past could be changed? What then?
Good evening. I am Smethels, your steward, and, if I may say so, it is good to see you up and about. You've been in your cabin the whole voyage. A touch of the mal de mer, was it? Seasickness can be quite unpleasant, especially if it's one's first crossing. Since you haven't been out of your cabin, may I instruct you on how to get assistance while on board the Titanic? Very good. We of the White Star Line hope that your stay on board Titanic is as relaxing as possible. As you explore the ship, please bear in mind the following advice. The mouse is your hands, the keys your feet. If you find the screen too dark or too bright, follow the directions on the control screen help panel or consult your manual on adjusting your monitor. To find the control panel help and other features, click on the life preserver at the bottom of the screen. The control panel has a help button, as well as a quit and save game feature. You may also adjust the volume. Test the settings by clicking on the black knob. You may also switch the theme music on or off. After making any adjustments, click OK to return to your current game. Wandering the ship, if you notice a hand, it indicates something to click on. May I suggest you do so? Several personal items in your room, a brown satchel, and a pocket watch are quite useful to you during your voyage. Take them with you. You shall want to converse with other passengers. If you fail to understand them, click on their face. They will repeat their last sentence. The purser. His office is on C deck, just off the forward grand stairs. The elevator, or lift as we call it, has an attendant who can direct you to various sections of the ship. The lifts are located behind the forward grand staircase. Lastly, you may always find me by returning to your cabin, C-73, and ringing the bell to the right of the door. Your correspondence. 2,200 on board, and they all want messages delivered promptly. Even if it is 1912, and the Titanic, the most advanced means of sea conveyance ever devised, I still have only 2 hands. Here, a map of the ship for you. Compliments of the White Star Line. I have taken the liberty of indicating your cabin, C-73. Of course, on a Sunday evening at this hour, there won't be many people out. Will there be anything else? A young lady. A most insistent young lady. The electric camel, an exercise device. They say it is good for the liver. I wouldn't know. It's located in the gymnasium, on the boat deck, on the starboard side. That's the right side, in case you had not been informed. Port. If you're facing towards the front of the ship, the left side is the port side. Have you unpacked? You'll find your trunk key in your bag on the bed. If you require additional assistance, please ring the bell by the door. Good night.
Majesty's government has assigned an agent of the Crown to rendezvous with you on board the Titanic. Remain in your cabin until your contact gives you further instructions. After completion of all your assignments on board, book passage to remain on the ship and return to Southampton for your next assignment. For a more in-depth report of the international situation in the spring of 1912, please review the white paper included as part of this briefing. That is all.
Hello. Don't think we've met. I'm Leyland Sekum Trask, metaphysical scribe and evangelist for the supernatural. I've been in London attending a conference on premonitions among the sensitive. Sensitives, or psychics, possess increased powers of perception. A gifted psychic can take a personal effect from a complete stranger and tell you all about them. There's a range, of course, but given the right training, psychics can reveal information hidden to others. This is a ship of destiny, which I think you know. Good night.
It's about time. You're late. Another 5 minutes and I'd have cancelled your mission. Yes, I'm Pringle. Penny Pringle. From the Bureau of Secret Service. You didn't think they'd plunk you down on this bucket of bolts and millionaires alone, did you? What a botch-up. Some idiot in the War Office booked me into second, not first class. And I've had a fine time of it, too. The crew wouldn't let me in the first cabin at all. It's just today I located you. Look at this. A German colonel named Zeitel. He's inspecting their embassies in Havana, Washington, and Mexico City. We know better. 10 days ago, the Bureau got word that Zeitel has in his possession a priceless copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, stolen 2 months ago in Paris after its purchase by a very highly placed member of His Majesty's government. The Rubaiyat's a book, a collection of medieval Persian poetry, a passion of His Lordship's. Poetry. Persians. The German High Command must think it's important enough to have their top man smuggle the lot on board. It's your job to find out. His Lordship's watching this very closely. Very closely indeed. I wouldn't fumble this chance either, unless you fancy spending the rest of your career in some grotty Midlands back office shuffling paper about. No, he's with the protégé. Name of Heidelitz, I believe. The two spend a great deal of time in the Café Parisien, nibbling pastries. Get into the wireless room. I don't know or care how. Officer Morrow wouldn't let me in. See if Zeitel's received or sent any telegrams about the Rubaiyat. You've got a cryptograph in your trunk. It'll unscramble the German codes for you. You use the brains God gave you. Watch people. Listen. When you find the Rubaiyat, knock on my door. Cabin F, 34. Use the second-class stairs. You should be set. Remember, this is your big chance. Don't fail.
Sorry, this section's off limits. Passengers aren't allowed on the bridge. Officer Morrow's in no mood to accommodate passengers right now. He's misplaced his binoculars, and he's in a right proper state about it too. Off with you now.
You came after all this time. It's Georgia. I'd heard you on board. Where have you been? It's been 5 years. I'd have waited a lot longer to see you again. Why didn't you tell me where you'd gone? Dina hadn't a clue, nor did Jack. My letters were returned. Just like you to show up now, with everything such a beastly mess. You must help me. You've no doubt heard the rumors. I won't deny most of them. I can't. Even if the money's gone, I won't give the diamonds to Charles, never. These are all that remains. My insurance for a new life without Charles or Saoirse. My husband, you hadn't heard of my marriage to Lord Lambeth? You told me once I cared only for a title. Well, I've got that now, and it's not worth a penny. The money's almost gone. Charles' bad investments. This is all that remains, and I must keep it away from him. Please. I mustn't talk any longer. Keep it for me, and don't tell Charles you have it. You can't know what he's like.
Come here. Don't you love the sea air? Really clears out the sinuses. Max Seidelman, Philadelphia, PA. Buyer for Haymaker's department store. The Sharpie of Spruce Street, they call me. You a sporting type? You look like the sporting type. Come on down to the smoking room for a nightcap. Riviera's looking for someone to play a few hands of blackjack with him. What do you say? Not much else to do. Not tonight. Brrr. Cold as a cast iron commode out here. So, what do you say? Great. First, let's swing by the Parisian Cafe. There's a man there named Zeidel, a German. Claims he's a businessman, but he's got something up the sleeve, all right. I know the type, believe me. Dollars to donuts, he's in some racket. So come with, why don't you? We'll hit the smoking room from there. Hey, Colonel, how you doing? Willie? Like you to meet a friend.
A pleasure. Heidelitz and I, we welcome diversion during such an uneventful passage, don't we, Willie?
Certainly.
Willie is at the University of Vienna, dissecting children's fables.
Cultural mythology, it's quite interesting. So only a junior professor, I tried to interest Dr. Freud. He's a genius, and
Yes, I am sure, quite. On the passenger list it says you embarked at Cherbourg, yet I have not seen you with the others. You were there, were you not? I see. You are British. Not so many of you in Titanic's first cabins. These days most of the rich are Americans. Businessmen like Max. Tell me, why do you go to New York? Business. How interesting, considering the British are not so good at it. Me? Inspecting our embassies. Imperial Germany desires to make a good impression in North America. Willie is continuing on, to the west, to conduct research on Aboriginal customs.
the Indians, they are fascinating.
Yes. However, I place faith in science, not superstition.
The Colonel was saying this wireless stuff's revolutionizing everything. Sending messages to each other. It's the end of books and newspapers.
Like the Titanic, a technological triumph. Here we dined in comfort while racing along at 20 knots. It's still tied to the outside world by the wireless.
That reminds me, Colonel Seidel, when I go to send you a telegram, they told me it was to be delayed. There are too many messages. The passengers...
I am sure our guests do not care to hear a detailed discussion of your encounter with telegraphy. Now, if you will excuse me...
Please, excuse us.
Won't you call on us tomorrow, here, in the cafe? The Linzer Tort's quite passable for a British ship. Stop by. Willie and I welcome it most heartily.
Yes, most heartily.
And before I leave, you must allow me to give you some advice. But do not wander the ship. It is not good, I think, on a ship as big as the Titanic. Good night, friends.
Good night.
See? What did I tell you? What did I say? Them too. Up to something, I'd say. The brainy kid gives me the creeps. What a grind. He should hang out with that little blonde. She's a looker, I tell you. Come on, let's hit the smoking room. I'll introduce you to Riviera. What do you say? Great. Go on up. I gotta see a man about a horse. I'll meet you in a few minutes. Goodbye.
But my dear, it's Daisy Cashmore. Surely you remember. Oh, you are naughty thing. Don't think I didn't know you'd snuck on at Cherbourg. Smethels told me all about it. The old boy's always dripping with news. Heard about Lord and Lady Lambeth. Ruined utterly. Scarcely enough left for appearances, I'm told. I always liked Georgia. Married Charles for his name and his fortune, sensible girl. But she's made her nest. Now she must live in it. Well, what do we think? Gorgeous, isn't it? Everyone's raving, gushing. The Titanic couldn't be more fabulous. And the sailing couldn't have been more convenient. Everyone's here. The Astors, the George Wideners, the Countess of Roths, such a wonderful girl. The Strausses, I saw them on D-deck tonight. The Ryersons, the Henry Harpers. I could just go on and on. And the ship's so very advanced. I was just saying to my dear friends, the Carters, they're bringing back a motor car, do you believe, in the cargo hold. Bill Carter checks it daily. Really, every day. He keeps the keys with the purser. And of course they let them. The Carters are fantastically rich. Lucille doesn't understand the attraction at all. With men and machines, I tell her, we girls play second fiddle. Well, my dear, I have a little favor, a tiny one. Tonight at dinner, a man I don't know was making eyes at me. Be an absolute darling and find out who he is. Look him up in the passenger list. All I know are his initials, GQC. The list's someplace. Find it. I'll wait right here. Ta!
I don't know you, nor do I want to. Leave me or I shall summon a steward. Tell me, do you approve of women who smoke? You're witty. Most men take their indulgences one at a time. Combine them, like women with tobacco, and they pitch fits. Pity. Andrew and I wintered in Cairo. We returned via Paris, where we ran into all sorts of people, including that charming German Colonel Zeitel. He had a great interest in rare books. It will be wonderful to be home. No dust storms, no lepers. Mr. Trask predicts a banner year for me. Trask? A brilliant seer. Brilliant! I consult him about business decisions, and he's never steered me wrong. He instructs me to travel on only 2 ships, the Titanic and the Lusitania. I must stop our chat here. I've other concerns. My maid, she's left us. Yes, well, good night.
Let me introduce you to Buick Riviera. Remember, he's French, and you know what they're like. Come here.
Good evening, mon ami. Buick Riviera welcomes you to the tables. I am always delighted to play with friends of Max. You look familiar. We make a meeting before? Deauville? The casino at Monaco? New Mexico. I lived there once. In Diamondback. Such a town. So, have we met? C'est vrai. Then we shall use my special cards.
Good luck. You'll need it.
A game, mon mon ami? You are the winner. Magnifique. You like to play again? You have won. Well played. Another hand, mon ami? Bonne chance, mon ami. Good night.
Yes? The lounge is closed for the night. We'd open it again only in an emergency, which we are not experiencing at the moment. Good night.
Yes, can I help you? Perhaps. As purser, I'm in charge of the Titanic's passengers. Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number. Let me check. Aha, Mr. George Quincy Clifford, A27. I live to serve. Very good then. Good night.
Good evening. Third Officer Morrow here. I am sorry, but this is the officers' promenade. No passengers allowed. Yes, very calm. No moon. I don't like that. Can't see what's coming. No moon means surprises, as if we don't have enough already. Mr. Ismay, the White Star Line's president's on board. We're walking eggshells round him, I tell you. Though that's nothing compared to the creeping about my brother-in-law's doing at the moment. His entire London office is in an uproar. Tom works in the Admiralty. Seems our plans for troop deployments against Germany disappeared 3 weeks ago. Tom says the big boys are petrified the Jerrys will get wind of it. Could upset the balance of power. Politics. Desktop espionage. Bureaucrats. Pah, give me the sea. You can toss the rest. Never have. Not since the war. South Africa. Boer War. The officer was a drinker. He was drunk when they trapped us out on the veldt. On a moonless night, it was a massacre. We never saw them coming. Drink always leads to the devil. An interesting connection. For all I know, it could be true. A man's got his troubles, sick child, being away from home. But I hate whiners and apologizers. Well, thank you for your insight. Have a look, why don't you? Mind you, Phillips will have my head if he catches you in there, but I don't see any harm. Go on in.
Watch your step.
Are you hurt, Henry?
No harm done. No harm.
I'm so sorry.
Trot on my toe.
We're the Goss Joneses from Haltwhistle, you know. How are you finding the crossing? You're English, then? I would have thought American. Oh, my. I didn't mean to insult you.
Can't hold a thought.
Dreadfully large place, America.
Brain like as if she's got
all that space and all those immigrants trying to fill it up. I was just commenting to Henry, on a white star crossing one meets all the right people. While we were just chatting with a delightful elderly couple in the reception. The Strausses, wasn't that right?
Own a small dry goods store in New York somewhere. Called Macy's.
On D-Deck.
Ribena, must you always finish my sentences? You're as jumpy as that American chap, that photographer.
Yes, he was just snapping away.
Taking pictures of some German colonel and that Englishman.
Snap, snap, snap.
War's coming all right, mark my words.
War? How beastly. Will Mr. Burns have to fight? He and his wife, such sweet things. But I do see her point. It is their honeymoon. Why he insists on snapping those photos, I haven't a clue.
For God's sake, woman, talk, like a madam in a Rangoon bawdy house.
Henry, that's unspeakable.
So don't speak then. Yaps louder than a scrum of rabid corgis. Now see here, this Burns chap.
If you want to see something interesting, take a look at his pictures. He's on C deck, cabin C, 78.
Can I help you? You found him. What do you want? Well, unfortunately, I don't have time to show it to you. My wife's angry with me because I've spent more time with my camera than with her. She just doesn't understand that a photographer can't stop taking pictures even on his honeymoon.
Have you seen Stephanie? She's wearing a blue hat.
I better wait for her. good to see you again. Did you see Stephanie? She must really be sore with me. You've got pretty good advice. I'm going to find her right now. Excuse me. Good night.
Get his name? Clifford. Clifford. Never heard of him. You don't suppose he's rich, do you? You're an angel, and I've news for you, too. While you were gone, Andrew Conkling's been asking for you. Yes, Conkling, the steel baron. God knows what he's been doing in Europe, buying it probably. And where was I? Oh, yes, Andrew Conkling asked me to pass along this. You know his wife Beatrix, the designer. Such an eye! Her clothes preserve the bust line. Couldn't be more flattering. Keeps the eye moving. Much nicer than Worth's. They're friends with Captain Smith. Smith! So handsome, so dashing. White Star's best officer, or was. He's retiring after this voyage. Couldn't be more tragic. My dear, you've blanched. Bad news? Certainly, I must... It's Mrs. Burbank! Consuelo!
Hello. In need of psychic consultation? You know, a medium told me the only danger in my life would come on water. Salt or fresh, he did not say. Damn it all, I wish they'd be more specific. That pipe's been someplace quite humid recently. I'd visit the Turkish bath. Good luck. These two are up to no good. They're making a deal of some kind. Not a bad photograph. That's Willy von Hederlitz, is it not? That man is hiding something. He is desperate. Good night.
Evening, I'm the lift attendant. And you'll not find one better at taking you where you want to go. Where to? At your service. The boiler rooms? Blimey! Passengers ain't allowed down there. Take the second class stairs down to F deck. I fancy there's some stairs down from there. Now where to? Very good then. Cheers.
I knew you'd come. Charles received a telegram from the solicitors. Our estate's to be sold off. He asked about the necklace I gave you. I told him I left it with a purser. Don't say anything to him or Sasha. Not him and his group of... Oh, there's much more to tell you. Can you meet me in my stateroom? I'm in B70. It's Charles' custom to go for a drink in the smoking room. When he does, visit me.
Hello, what can I do for you? Ah, my binoculars. Thank you. Borrowed them from Fleet earlier tonight. He's up in the crow's nest. Hope he has another pair with him. Oh, guess I left them somewhere. Thanks again. Good night.
A fine night to be indoors, cold as the dickens outside. Cold but clear. Clear as a bell, and the stars, oh, you should see 1,000,000 stars in God's firmament. A congregation of light. The name's Trout, the Reverend Edgar Trout. I'm returning from a mission in Africa, to Sunapee, New Hampshire, where I live. Emily, my wife. She's dead. Thank you. We had looked forward to this journey. But she died at Port Said. Though it was Nyasaland that killed her, the doctors, you know, never did find all the parasites. Calling on Miss Pringle, she has been invaluable this voyage, a pillar. Oh yes, we're very glad she's with us. They say you met Trask. Be wary of him. Trask's a trickster. Take this card, a prayer card, from my own collection. So you must like it, this section of the Titanic. Here, second class. You can get to Scotland Road from here. Do you know it? Scotland Road? Scotland Road runs the length of the ship, from stern to bow on E-deck. It allows the crew to get from one side to the other quickly. I could go to third class if I take the Scotland Road. But I don't believe in social mixing. No, it creates too much anxiety. A place for everyone, and everyone a place. Though some don't choose to see it that way. In the course of my ministrations, I've observed a gentleman from first class, a young German, among the steerage women. Most unnatural. I haven't said anything. I wouldn't want to upset the ladies. Especially Miss Pringle. She seems a fragile vessel. Behind me, through those doors. Wait, before you leave, I was wondering, perhaps you'd care to make a donation to our mission in Nyasaland. I am very happy. Tomorrow we will discuss everything. Good evening.
You've decoded the message. Smashing. The boiler rooms. Blast. There's an entrance to the lower decks around here somewhere. Query the lift attendant. He's cheeky, but he knows this ship. Intercept the Rubaiyat before it changes hands.
A passenger? I can't regulate the steam for boilers 1 and 2, so I don't have time for you. You're where you shouldn't be. Get up top before you're kicked up there. Oh, I doubt it. She's really acting up. See? Still working the bugs out of her. See for yourself. Have at it. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. Over here. Running much smoother now. Say, since you were so interested, go on, have a peek in the engine room. She's quite a sight.
What have we here? The fancy dress ball's upstairs, mate. Ready? Check out the toff. All right. You've come to see her guts, have you? Ireland and Wolf, they are. She's got 29 of these monsters. Oh no, we're practically blue from the cold down here. Belfast, that's where they built the Titanic. Not too fast, are you, Leadhead? Liverpool? I ought to pitch you overboard. Liverpool. This stuttering lobscouser thinks she was built in Liverpool. Bugger off. Up top with you, now. Back for more, are you? All right now, let's see what the toffs are made of. Come on, Leadhead. Jerk? That's the best you can do? Jerk? You're just an ugly cur. What? Nobody talks that way about me, Mum. Sod off.
You are a passenger
Excuse me, I would speak with you. Forgive me, I am sorry to intrude on you, a person of such high station. I am Vlad. I have men. I am leaving my home. I am a Serb and they have killed my wife, my children, the Austrians. For that they will pay. But I do not want to burden you. Please, I need a favor. I have a friend in first class, in cabin A14. Mr. Barbican has a package for me. Can you bring it here? I am a stowaway. If I am caught, maybe they throw me overboard. Please get the package. I've eaten nothing since we sailed, save for a rat who is not so fast. His name is Barbican, in A14. Tell him you've come from Vlad. He will give you the package. I wait here for your return. Your assistance will be repaid manyfold.
You found him. Sasha Barbican of Barbican Galleries. Now, what is it that I can help you with? Our history is quite complex. Certainly. Georgia's a woman who does not go unnoticed. Georgia exudes a certain romantic paranoia, a condition, I fear, worsened by Charles' own romance with whiskey. Continuously. One hears there are financial problems. They say Charles owes Andrew Conkling thousands of pounds. Georgia? Have you talked to her? You be the judge. She's accused me of outrageous deeds, libelous practically. I'm part Slav, you see, a Serbian on my mother's side. Georgia finds such a mixture a source for wild stories. Not much anyone can do, I'm afraid. George is in clear need of a rest. For Vlad? He's on board? Please come in. He did it. I told him not to, told him I'd pay his ticket, but he was too proud. Such a tragedy about his family. They were with my mother's people. When Austria took Bosnia, they were killed. Many were. With his family dead, America seems as good a place as any for Vlad. Ask Vlad, I don't know. Here, his things. You'll be glad to get them. It's rather late. Good night. And don't believe what Lady Georgia says. She's not well. Enjoy your voyage.
Thank you. I must see Mr. Barbican. I've bad news. He will not be happy. I am looking for something. Something very important. But it's not here. You have seen a small... It is of no importance. Good night.
Did you get it? Did you find the Rubaiyat? Smashing. What have you learned? I was wondering how you got so dirty. There's a spot on your cheek. Yes, right there. You got it. More art? Zeitel's no connoisseur. No, there's something about that painting of interest to the German High Command. I don't have any information about Vlad, but the other fellow, look here. Zeitel's Titanic contact is a London art dealer named Sasha Barbican. They say he smuggles art, and he's not above selling stolen merchandise. The files say he's Serbian, interestingly enough, with links to some shady Balkan groups. Let me see. That's the Rubaiyat, all right. Well done. Leave it with the purser for safekeeping. It shall be undisturbed there. Find anything else? Quite significant. This man, here with Zeitel. That's Barbican. I'll keep this. Good work. The painting's what Zeitel's really after. You must secure it. Where or how, I don't care. Just find it and bring it back here. Remember, leave the Rubaiyat with the purser for safekeeping. He might also know where the painting's stored. Sneak a peek at his cargo manifest. That should help you find the painting. Cargo stored somewhere beneath the forecastle deck. Things are thickening up quite nicely, aren't they? We've got to get our hands on that painting. Don't fail.
What do you want? Why, what do you know? Not that it matters. I'm much too busy. I must get this message through from Mr. Thayer. Mr. Thayer expects his private train car to meet him in New York, and I can't leave my post. But I need to send this telegram. Help? Yes, it might be helpful if you delivered this message to the wireless room for me. Even better, why don't you send it for me? Mr. Thayer is a very important man. So send the telegram at once. And when you have, don't forget to tell me. Very nice. Security is our first priority. I'll put it in the safe. That's all then, is it? Good night. And Sasha to the ship's stern. They're having a rather heated conversation. See if you can listen in. I'll track their movements.
We've a problem, Zeitel.
Which is?
The Rubaiyat. It was not at your drop point.
You are sure?
Most definitely.
But I put it there myself. What happened?
There's a third party on board, an agent working against you. Against us.
How do you know?
My servant saw them at the drop. They now have the ruby out. This could ruin me, Zeidel, if I were found out.
We should take precautions.
What about the painting? Did your associate bring it up from the cargo hold?
No, I don't have it.
No? But I put it there myself.
Sasha, I've discovered a traitor. Don't look so startled. It is not you.
You mean Heidelitz, your associate?
No longer my associate, I am afraid. Willy was an intellectual, and intellectuals aren't smart enough for espionage. Now, I must recover the painting and its plans. I fear this third party may already have possession of it.
And Heidelitz?
Thank you for asking. Willy will bring no further harm to the fatherland, I assure you. Let us plan.
Yes, can I help you? You sent it? Marvelous. I was afraid you'd forgotten. Mr. Thayer will be most grateful. And let them think the purser's not doing his job. I am the purser, and as purser, I am the one who looks after the passengers. Mr. Thayer is vice president of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it is I who shall inform the Thayers that their train will be waiting. So, if you'll excuse me...
Evening, I'm the lift attendant. And you'll not find one better at taking you where you want to go. Where to? Righty, I know every nook and cranny. From the A-deck promenade, walk forward to the bow. Take the stairs down to forward B-deck. Head forward past the well deck. Your cargo room's located somewhere under the forecastle deck. May I take you somewhere? Good night.
Yes, can I help you? Oh, wait, go away, I'm too busy. Mr. Isidore Strauss, he's lost a cufflink, and he's so particular. How should I know? There's more than enough passengers on this ship to keep me hopping. Old Mr. Strauss could make things very difficult. Yes, very difficult. Thank you. It is a gold cufflink. Mr. Strauss will be very grateful.
Wanderer, I had advised you against it. Young people, they listen to no one nowadays. May I help you in your search? I am looking for something also. A misplaced notebook. Ah, such a big ship. You have not seen this notebook? Yes, but staying out so late at night, you must have some curiosity. Curiosity. In English, it kills the cat, yes? But it can also kill larger things. Stay away from German business. Germany wants land, industries, and material, and we will fight to get it. Britain and America will try to stop this, but we will know your plans. And if there's war, Germany will win. But enough politics. This has been such a civilized voyage so far. Let us meet tomorrow in the cafe, yes? The band? They play Strauss so well. Until then. Auf Wiedersehen.
Hello there. You again. You'll never guess who I saw earlier. The man himself, Isidore Strauss. The owner of Macy's department store, standing right over there. Haymakers is a fine shop, but Macy's, man, that's the big store. But just as I was readying myself to make an introduction, he leaves. You seen him? At the foot of the stairs with his wife. Let me know if you see him, will you?
Yes, can I help you? Wonderful. Mr. Strauss will be quite pleased that I found his cufflink. I shall deliver it at once. I'm just sure his gratitude will be reflected most generously.
Nobody's allowed to... You've got the keys. You're a carter. Of course you can enter. Right this way. Come to visit your new automobile, have you? Can't say I blame you. She's a beauty. Gleaming like a new penny. Right this way. Mind your head, it's dark in there.
You'll find your way from here. Don't blame you for seeing after your automobile. Man's got to protect his investments. You're the second passenger tonight who wanted to get in here. A young German gentleman. He came in not long before you did. Only he weren't looking at no motor car. He wanted to get a painting. Couldn't find it at all. Looked like he was going to jump out of his skin about it too. Blooming art lovers. Well, good night. It's a right honour to help one of the carters.
Still wondering? This ship holds a strange fascination for you. Most peculiar. I have a message from a young German gentleman by the name of Heidelitz. He would like to meet you in the squash court. They've opened it for him. Highly irregular, I must say, especially for fencing. Surely he is. The percentage of passengers demanding the courts late on a Sunday night is small. Minuscule, actually. Yes, apparently he does not favor racket sports. If memory serves me, there is an entrance to the squash courts on D deck. Meanwhile, I shall inform the young German gentleman that you will meet him presently.
Step lively. Where to? Righty, I know every nook and cranny. Take my lift to D deck. Leave me and turn right. You'll see the D deck cabins ahead of you. Enter. At the corridor's end, make a left. The first door to your right takes you down to the squash court. Little late for a game, aren't it? May I take you somewhere? Mind the gate. Did you attend a party last night on D deck? Seen the Lady Georgia, did you? Noticed those diamonds round her neck? A bloke will be set up with those, and her. Pity she's unhappy. Her husband always arguing with her, like just now. Almost there.
Thank you for coming. I do not meet so many people on the Titanic. It is a pity. I like the English. I wish I knew more of them. Now you have the opportunity of fencing with me. 3-time champion of my university. You are also an excellent athlete, yes? Colonel Zeitel believes it so. The Colonel is very seldom confused about anything. You will play. If you win, perhaps, I relate to you some stories. En garde. Allons-y. Allons-y. Et là. Allez. Et là. Allez. Ah, verdammt. Allons. Allez. Allons. Ah, verdammt. You fence well. You are a great athlete. The Titanic, how quickly she is moving. The engines are loud here. We are nearing the Grand Banks. The Vikings thought this part of the North Atlantic cursed. Even modern sailors call it the Devil's Hole, a place of deadly surprises. Things aren't always what they seem, yes? Like me, for example. I am German, but I am also a friend to others. Perhaps even the English. Another match? Afterwards we can tell more tales. Another match? En garde. Allons. Et là. Allons. Allez. Touchez. Allez. Et là. Allons. Allez. Touchez. Allez. Touchez. You are the loser. How unfortunate. You do? Remember, only one thing is certain, and the rest is lies. It is a quote from an old book I had the recent opportunity to read. But I tell you more. I am associate professor at the University of Vienna. I document the mythos, the legends of mankind. I'm on my way to New Mexico to study the Yoni Indians under Dr. van der Plaars. I am interested in what Dr. Freud calls the unconscious mind, what happens below the surface of experience. Tell me, what frightens you more, fire or ice? The ancient Aryans believed man would see 4 ages. According to them, this is now the Wolf Age, an age that ends with ice. Perhaps we of science might learn from it. They say the ice is heavy in the Labrador Current this year. Why do you assume he is interested in paintings? Yes, art. That is what I meant. And you are mistaken. Colonel Seidel cares little for art, unlike his friend Herr Barbicon. I notice he likes old Vienna, for he has many pictures of the city. If the fire comes, my friends will favor the English over Germany. Another match? En garde. Allez. Ach, verdammt. Allons. Sehr gut. Allez. Et là. Allons. Touchez. Allons. Ah. Allons-y. Touchez. Allez. Ah. Allez. Sehr gut. You are a great athlete. Take this in friendship. May it bring you luck. A thing I fear we shall all need. But if anything should happen to me, I trust you will know what to do. Very good. You have proven yourself, and I must confide in you. Colonel Seidel suspects I value my friends more than Germany. He's right. Another match? Let us meet later. I will tell you more. For now, keep The ring. I bid you good night.
I say, how are you getting on?
Getting on? We use gangplanks, if I remember.
Quick as a cow, she is. Seen Guggenheim about?
Such a gentleman, extremely attentive to the ladies.
Especially his mistress. They say he stashed her on board somewhere.
Really, Henry? Not Mr. Guggenheim?
The Titanic's not a damned rectory, you know.
But Henry?
Quite the randy old goat from what I hear.
My goodness, I've forgotten completely. I have a message for you. Mr. Trask in D2 said you were to meet him where honor and glory crown time. Where honor and glory crown time? What do you think he meant? Good night.
You've arrived. I was expecting you. I was just holding court with these two ladies. Honor and glory. Crowning time. They say 100 wood carvers worked on the Titanic. Such effort. Now in such danger. Yes, for the ship. And for a mutual acquaintance. I visited with a very nice woman in second class, a Mrs. Hart. Won't sleep a wink at night, she says, because something dreadful is about to happen. She believes to call this ship unsinkable flies in the face of God, and such arrogance will be punished. She should join the Bureau. I see your friend, Willy von Haderlitz. He is in very great danger. The ring. Yes, did you notice the Russian characters on the inside band? Willy has a hidden life. There's a girl, a pretty girl. Haderlitz knows her. Show her the ring. She'll help you. Good luck. Good night.
Enter. I wasn't sure you'd come. Andrew Conkling? He's loaned money to Charles. A lot of it, I think. First, I want to know how you fared these last years. Rather well from the looks of you. I'm glad to see you. You're the only person I can trust. Please promise me you'll help. You always were there when I needed you. Now, with my life a horrible mess. When Charles discovered my affair with Saoirse, he was quite calm. But I know him, you see. His revenge is taking the necklace, leaving me with nothing. And Saoirse, I'd never trust him again. Don't you see? They're looking for guns, for bombs. At a party last June, Saoirse was quite passionate. A Slavic trait, I'm told. His mother came from Belgrade. I fell in love. We used to meet at his gallery, but we were never alone. They'd come at all hours. Saoirse's friends. His gallery was their London base. They were rough men, foreign. Saoirse told me they were part of a Balkan aid society. Stupid girl that I was, I believed him. But then I found out. These people, they... Charles!
Please, Georgia, continue. Was it my title or my income you found so desirable? I was never sure. Now that both assets are depleted, why don't you go to Sasha? Maybe he can help, as he's done before.
Ignore him. I see the smoking room's had its usual effect.
Idle gossip, apparently.
You see his attitude? Please, go.
Since you obviously can't depend on me, here, take the chill out of the air. Thank you for seeing after my wife. Now I think it best you leave the happy couple, drowning in their happiness. Good night.
Remember, I need your help.
Right then, where to? Righty, I know every nook and cranny. Take my lift to D deck. Take the doors beneath the stairs. Go down one flight to E deck. You'll see the signs to Scotland Road. May I take you somewhere? Mind the gate. You and that German fellow, walking the ship at all hours. I don't know your excuse, but he's got a sweetheart on D deck. See now, use his friend and all. I bet you'd like to know where she stays. It's cabin 19, D deck. Here you are. It's as far as I go.
You seen Hadelitz's gal, Clarice Limehouse? She must have a cabin on D deck, near reception. And could I receive her in a New York minute? Willie's girl's got some class to her. Main line all the way. Somewhere's on D deck. Willie came by here earlier. Good night.
There you are. I have evidence of a scandal. I have seen a first-class passenger, a Mr. Hadelitz, among the steerage class. He's been gambling with the crew and worse. I followed him into third class, on F deck where he visited the room of an unchaperoned young woman. I will speak to the authorities. Such behavior, it smacks of socialism and unrest. I'm looking forward to talking with you about the mission. God needs your help. Thank you so much. I will call on you tomorrow. Good evening.
Good of you to come. I trust you're finding the accommodation satisfactory? You're welcome. White Star's anxious for everyone to be as comfortable as possible, particularly on the maiden voyage. Sorry to seem mysterious. You must understand someone in my position, an investor in this ship, needs discretion. You're under no obligation, of course. I have a slight problem. You may be able to help. A servant has stolen an important business document from me, and I must recover it. A few years ago, my wife Beatrix hired a young Irish girl as maid in our London house. We treated her well. 2 weeks ago, she up and left without notice, taking a certain letter with her. I'd given up all hope of recovering it, until my wife spotted her this morning on the third-class promenade. Needless to say, I checked with the purser. She'd been scheduled to sail on the Philadelphia. But those passengers were transferred on board the Titanic because of a coal strike. Yes, you could say so. I'd prefer to employ the services of a third party. You. Government officials, friends of mine, told me a bureau agent was on board. I found you through Mrs. Cashmore. A preposterous woman, but she does have an eye for accomplishment. Look, will you help me? You will be rewarded handsomely. Her name is Shayla Hacker. She's 20 or thereabouts. I was her benefactor, one might say. Yes. This puts me in a difficult situation. This young woman, she could cause considerable damage to me, to my reputation if she goes to the newspapers. Confidential business matters. Conkling Steel provides steel for ships. This ship, for example. If the contents of the letter were publicized, our competitors would profit greatly. I've gotten word to her to meet on the poop deck. Go in my place. Tell her there'll be no trouble if she returns the letter. Afterwards, report to me in our suite, B59. Her name is Shayla Hacker. Good night.
What did our young Mr. Hadelitz want? Hadelitz's ring. Maybe Trask can tell you more about it. I'll see if I can dig something up on him. Their partnership appears to be dissolving. Who else knows young Hadelitz? Talk to anyone who may have seen him. Finally, you're on the right trail. Follow those leads.
What did I tell you, Shay? I knew he'd not come in person.
Hush, Jack, hush. Conklin, he did send you, didn't he?
I told you, it's a trick. I knew Conklin wouldn't come. He sent one of his cronies instead. I'm her brother. And Conklin, because of him, Shayla's had to leave everything and everyone she knows.
Jack, don't.
That son of a bitch. She was his maid and all the time violating it.
Hush, Jack. I'll have no more of it. Go on, Jack, say it.
You tell Conklin we have his letter, and he'll not be seeing it till he coughs up a tidy sum, too. 5,000, do you hear? Dollars. Enough to get her started right in America. And if he moves a hand against us, I'll make sure the newspapers get the letter and print it. So tell Conklin. 5,000. Measured against what he has, it's a bloody bargain.
Meet us here again. At 1 tonight.
$5,000, then he'll get his damn letter. Agreed?
It's your only chance. We'll be waiting for you.
Hoped to meet you earlier. However, my wife and I were calling on the Astors. Madeline's pregnant. Beatrix was thrilled. We have no children. I see. It's a ransom. May I present Mrs. Conkling?
You should pitch the ungrateful girl overboard. Your clothes, French cut. Quite fetching. I forgot to tell you when we first met.
Beatrix is on her way to California. She's got a new project in... Where is it, dear?
A cow town, someplace called Los Angeles. I'm doing up a little resort there. It's called the Beverly Hills Hotel. So, where is the Irish tart? Dreaming of her newfound riches?
We were just talking about that, darling.
My husband and myself extended every courtesy, showed every kindness to Shayla. We've no children. Shayla became quite dear to us. So her theft hurt us all the more for the trust we placed in her. Don't fail us. Now, excuse me. I must retire. I have a frightful headache. It was a pleasure. Good night. Andrew?
My wife felt strongly about Shayla. As I've told you, we had no children of our own. Look, you must get that letter. Don't wait until tomorrow. See if you can speak to Shayla directly, without her brother. She's in the third-class cabins forward, on F deck, number 59. Good night. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
I'll be right out. I don't want to wake the baby. Oh. But we were meeting later. Where's Jack? Please, I don't want no trouble. I didn't know the letter was so dear. I just wanted to take something, anything that looked valuable. For the baby. It was Jack who read it. Saw it was bad for Mr. Conkling. He said the bit about selling bad steel would ruin him if it was to get out in the papers. Anyway, Jack, he says Mr. Conkling got the letter from an engineer up at the mill. Said the mill's been making bad steel. High in sulfur is what he called it. The steel's no good, and they put it in the Titanic. It'd be a scandal if it got out. That's why Mr. Conkling wants the letter back. But Jack, he says Conkling will have to pay us to get it. $5,000. Mrs. Conkling's probably behind it. All she cares about is a fine name and pots of cash. And a baby. But she won't get Eddie. No, she won't. And if she tries, I'll ruin her. Make her poor as me. My baby, Eddie. He's the only reason I stood them last month at the Conklings. I knew Mr. Conkling weren't going to leave his missus. I was only a parlour maid, but I didn't care. I was happy to have his baby. and Mrs. Conklin. I thought they was so kind, until I found out. Then Mrs. Conklin was going to steal my baby for her own. Once I had it, she would fire me and take Eddie for herself. She can't have her own babies. So they used me to get one, to get Eddie. When I found out that was her plan, I left. I didn't know the letter was anything. I thought it might hold a pound or two. Oh, that's Eddie. Bye. Don't forget about our meeting.
Georgia, afraid of me? Well, that would be a reaction at least. We no longer evoke emotion in each other. We're husband and wife in name only. You may have heard I am in financial straits. I've borrowed money from Andrew Conkling, money that he is now demanding I pay back. I've none to give. Poverty should remain the domain of the virtuous. I've no taste for it. To tell you. No, I shall fix things first. And without Georgia. Another drink? Another whiskey for, Hope you don't mind if I do. Now, you, want to know some secrets. Thank you, bartender. I'll tell you one. George's diamond necklace. It's a fake. The one on her neck, leastways. I gave the real necklace to Sasha. It's in his cabin for safekeeping. When he gets to New York, he'll sell it, quickly and quietly, for 20% commission. I'll pay off my debts to Conkling, put Georgia away, sail back to England free and clear. She's unstable, as you know, so I'm placing her in a sanatorium. An easy thing to do, given her emotional history. The law favors the husband in these matters. She can do nothing about it. God forbid the suffragettes really do win women the vote. They'll never know their place again. Because I threatened to tell Scotland Yard about his Serbian Aid Society, and because Sasha's a greedy bastard, he'd betray his love for 20%. And Georgia thinks she's outsmarted me. No, she's got a fake about her neck and doesn't know. Another? Good night, then. You'll sleep well. The whiskey and the sea are both smooth for a change.
Just seeing to the electric. The fuse box there. She said we've had no time to check her wearing. Adek's been complaining about the lights all night. We'll get her straightened right out. That is if I can find my screwdriver. Wager I forgot it below. Ta now. Be right back.
are you doing in my cabin? You must leave immediately. You need to tend to your own affairs. Fortunately, you've left my valuables undisturbed.
What did our young Mr. Hadelitz want? Finally, you're on the right trail. Follow those leads.
Yes? You want something? It's Willie's ring. Willie, what's happened? Something bad, hasn't it? Something to Willie. He told me if I ever received this ring, I was to know that whoever gave it to me was a friend, and to tell them about the notebook, that they should find it. Willie's hidden a notebook on board, that's all I know. Now what about Willie? Is he hurt? Oh, he told me jokes. Bad ones, but he made me laugh. Not like Mama's friends. Mama, she doesn't like Germans, unless they've a title to their name. But I like Willie. A lot. May I have it? The ring? Thank you. I'll never forget this. Willie's in trouble. Please help him if you can.
Quickly, there's not much time. Willie Hadelitz is dead, electrocuted in the Turkish bath. I heard one of the officers talking about it. This may not have been an accident. Apparently, someone wants that painting badly enough to kill for it. Do you have it? Smashing. Splendid job. Look here, on the back. It's a plan for Allied troop deployment in France. If Germany ever invaded, they'd have destroyed us. No wonder Hadelitz was killed. Well, Berlin won't get this now. Leave the painting with the purser. He'll keep it with the Rubaiyat. Young Hadelitz, a Tsarist spy? It's beginning to become clear. Quite possibly. We need more information about the murder. A notebook. Zeitel's previous mission was aiding a band of Russian revolutionaries called Bolsheviks who want to overthrow the Tsar. The Germans would like nothing better than to see chaos in Russia. I'll bet that notebook's got names of Russian radicals. Such a list would be very important to the Okhrana, the Russian secret police. With it, they'd root out the Bolshevik ringleaders and eliminate a threat to the Tsar, which would certainly help the rest of us. If Hadelitz was murdered, you'll need protection. Here, this pen releases a single burst of knockout gas when opened. Find that notebook. It could be vitally important. And give that painting to the purser. Go investigate the situation at the Turkish bath. Move.
What have you heard? Anything? Tell me. You knew him? Look. Don't breathe a word to anyone. Do? Bloody well nothing. Not till New York. The rest of the passengers must not be alarmed. Ismay is going to raise hell when he hears, and I thought this would be an easy trip. Talk to Smethers, his steward. Say the man came down here after using the squash courts. Be my guest. Mind you, it's not pretty. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Most regrettable. Most regrettable indeed. The young German gentleman, dead. In the electric bath. Quite unanticipated. He was alive. Most vocally, too, just a few hours before, arguing with someone on B deck. About a painting. He'd misplaced it. And the other gentleman wanted to know where it was. The gentleman's voice was unfamiliar. Yes, I believe Dr. O'Loughlin is waiting to move him, so as not to alarm the other passengers. It is, I must warn you, a most unpleasant sight. Very good. This is most irregular. Most irregular indeed.
Can you feel it? The air has changed. It's clammy, cold, like the ice caves in the Eiger. But you're not here about climatology. What do you want? I don't think his death was an accident. He has double-crossed the Colonel. That may help you. The Titanic was never christened. Very bad luck for a ship. They say that when building her, a worker was entombed in the hull. And though we've 2,000 on board, the Titanic is only half full. The world's wealthiest men, Henry Clay Frick, J.P. Morgan, the Vanderbilts, canceled their trip. They know when to listen to their gut. The vibrations of the astral plane are quite strong. Whatever happens will be quite interesting. Certainly. A passage from the Rubaiyat. Many knots unravel could mean a rope. Complete the rest of the verse and you'll find your answer. Good luck. Goodbye. I'll be here if you need me.
Yes, can I help you? A painting, is it? I'll put this in the safe. That's all then, is it? Good night.
Christ almighty wonder! You has a face ache, ain't you? Rooming the ship, poking your nose into everyone's business. Just who do you take me for now? One of those la-di-da millionaires up top? Jack Hacker keeps his word, honors his promises. When I saw you coming, I says to myself, they'll be wanting to know about him. The foreign gentleman, German I suspect, a rapidly nervous type he was too. Gave me a bob and told me to tell whoever asked to repeat a phrase word for word. You want to hear it now? But still the vine her ancient ruby yields,
and still a garden by the water blows. Yeah, that's it. Here, he wrote it down. But still the vine her ancient ruby yields, and still a garden by the water blows. What's it mean anyway? Some rich man's game you play? You can have it. Just tell Conklin we want the money tonight.
Fancy meeting you again.
Snooping about the decks again? What fun.
Oh, Henry, snooping. Really? Such dreadful taste.
Reminds me of that chap Burns, that photographer who took pictures of the ship.
You should look him up. He's on sea deck. He has such a lovely wife, too.
I say it's late. Must run. Goodbye.
What now? Another clue? Aha! The rubaiyat again! But still the vine her ancient ruby yields. What's red and old? Still a garden by the water blows. Still a garden by the water blows. We're on the water, obviously. And a garden means plants. Where's there a profusion of greenery on board? Figure it out. Goodbye. I'll be here if you need me.
Did you hear? J.P. Morgan, he owns the White Star Line. He was to be on board. At the last moment, he took the cure in France instead. Why do you suppose? Has the ship sprung a leak? I'll scare myself to death. Everyone knows the Titanic's unsinkable. Why, it's the Harrises. You know, the Broadway producer. My dear, I simply must run. Lovely chatting with you. Goodbye.
Riviera on board? Get real, Pally. Watch him, or he'll pick your wallet too. Don't mind if I do. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, I always say. Gave a pack of these to the German kid early tonight. He's an odd one.
While we was docked in Queenstown, I saw him on top of one of the smokestacks.
The last one, right at the top. Who knows what he was up to? Looked like he was hiding something. Crazy crowd kid.
Please leave me.
Photos. Look at
Eric. Who's at the door?
Stephanie. She's still sore. I want to get her a gift, you know, but it's too late.
Eric.
Got anything Stephanie'd like? I'll trade you. These photos for something for Steffi. What a nice thought for a new bride. Thanks. Here, take my picture. It's a man peering out from the last smokestack.
Eric, come to bed.
Coming, pumpkin. Good night.
God has moved his mighty hand against the wicked. Gambling, lewdness, and a mixing of the classes are repaid with fire. You have heard the news? Young Heidelitz has gone to meet his maker. Or someone else, eh? We can only speculate, can't we? They say the electric bath has never malfunctioned before. Believe me, it wasn't the voltage, but the cleansing work of the Lord. I'm looking forward to talking with you about the mission. God needs your help. Thank you so much. I will call on you tomorrow. Good evening.
Yes, what now? This area's off limits. No passengers allowed. Why, yes, that would be fine. Just don't touch anything. Good night. I think you've seen enough. Seaman, check course. Now I remember why passengers aren't allowed on the bridge.
Oh, surprised me you did. It's a lonely post here. Cold adds to it. Night watch. I'm here for a couple more hours. Oh, surprised me you did. It's a lonely post here. Cold adds to it. And break your neck? The entrance is below decks. Only the lads in the engine room can get to it. Climb the smokestack. We're sipping a little too much brandy tonight, aren't we?
Listen, I've discovered the only way into the smokestack, through the engine room. Find that notebook. Helping the Tsar will help us too.
She's still running rough. You're so clever last time, you can't have a go again. Right. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. Cheers, mate.
Interfered in my affairs for the last time. You are the one who stole the ruby yacht. And Sasha's painting. I know you have it. Prepare to die at the hands of Serbia.
I think that notebook is for me. Please.
I cannot tell. The agents have our secrets.
Thank you for finding it. Willie would have appreciated your effort. Cold, isn't it? I've maintained climate is the crucible of civilization. Culture blooms in the temperate. It is the tropic and Arctic zones which breed barbarism. Russia, for instance. In that notebook are names of anti-Tsarist Russians, revolutionaries living in exile. Germany supports these men. They are called communists. We provide assistance, small courtesies, and, wherever possible, financial encouragement. One of these men is moving to Krakow soon. Charming city, Krakow. We urge Willie to befriend such types in Vienna. He kept a list of such men for us, or so I thought. He was a Russian agent who was going to turn those names over to the Okhrana, the Russian Secret Service.
Dave would kill them. Secretly, of course, but kill them just the same. Think. With the revolutionaries all dead, the Tsar would be secure on his throne.
That should not be allowed. Not when there are wars to be planned for.
Now then, the notebook. An iceberg. They've run into an iceberg. The idiots! I will be taking that notebook now. What? Ah!
You see, my friend, we will all meet the devil, eventually.
That's a nasty bump. You'll live. But for how long is the question? We've struck an iceberg. The incompetents, the idiots! That was an hour ago. The captain's called women and children to the boats. It's serious. She's sinking by the bow. She's got about an hour left, maybe a little more. The Rubaiyat. And a fine time I had getting it back from the purser. It's safer with you now. I've the painting. Take it, and make sure that necklace doesn't end up in the wrong hands. The Serbian Vlad. He must have the notebook. The notebook lists the names of Russian radicals. The Germans actively encourage Lenin and other revolutionaries. You must recover that notebook. This information is vitally important to our Russian allies. I know you're hurt, but the Titanic's sinking. It's not going to be easy. The lifts have been shut down for good. We must get the evidence off the ship before it goes. So, up we go. Now get cracking.
get me to leave, I'm not going. I'm not leaving Willie. I want to stay near him on the ship. We met here in the lounge the first night out. He introduced himself. Willie was so kind. Not like Mama's friends, they just want our money. I'm staying with him. We went for a walk that night on deck. There were so many stars, just like tonight. I told him you can't see the stars in New York. The lights burn too bright. I told him to go to Central Park. I was going to take him to the park to show him the stars. Here, take this shawl. I don't need it. If you get to New York, visit the park. That's where you see stars. That's where I wanted to take Willie. Goodbye.
I wondered when you'd rematerialize. We're in a bit of a spot, don't you think? Me? My lord, no, I'm too old and too fat for small boats. Besides, after spending my corporeal career communing with the beyond, I'm not too worried about joining it now. Visit Mr. Riviera. He's playing for some very high stakes. Very high. I'm heading somewhere far more interesting. Let those who would stay save themselves. But what's still unknown is what you will do. Don't you see? You've changed the past. You've had that chance. What you do now will change the future. Don't fail. I suggest a hand of cards with Mr. Riviera. Hurry. Goodbye now. It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance in this world. Perhaps we'll meet again in the next.
You are proving surprisingly hardy, so perhaps you'll honor one more request. The evening's last, it would seem. Oh, but you must. You could save a life.
The Lady Georgia's, of course. I've poisoned her. If you decide against helping me, she will die.
But if you cooperate, the antidote for her. Why, there goes Mr. Ismay. He's abandoning ship. Not just the women and children. The president of the line gets a seat too. So, will you help? Good. Listen closely. You have the painting, and we both know its true value.
Please, the painting. Hand it to me.
Thank you. And since I am a man of my word, the antidote. And in the spirit of the evening, I will even tell you where she is. Sasha's cabin, A14.
It seems I shall not see Sunapee either. This is a test of faith, like the blood fluke infestations at the mission. Unspeakable things. The worms fell, even the fittest. We prayed then too, after Mazan and the bearers fled into the bush. Though Emily did not escape God's plan, tonight is another test. We shall brave the deluge like Noah and his family. Does anyone know how long the great flood raged? Do you know? Exactly. You are blessed with fortune. Comfort Miss Limehouse. She is in the first-class lounge.
Stand back! Ladies and gentlemen, maintain order. Women and children board first.
Prepare to swing out! Lifeboat away, sir! This deck's closed. No one can go up from this point. There aren't the boats for the steerage passengers. They must stay below. If you go down there, I can't guarantee you'll come back. It's dangerous down there. Good luck. If I'm still here when you return, I'll let you back up.
Mrs. Conklin, she's stolen my baby. I was to meet Mr. Conklin, but she showed up instead, demanding the letter. I let her hold the baby so I could get my hands free. I let her, and she took him. She told the steward that he was hers. He wouldn't let me follow her to first class. She's leaving with my baby. Take the letter. Find her. See if she'll trade the baby for it. Please, you're our only hope.
Get that baby for Mrs. Conklin. Trade the letter.
Sasha. Yes, Sasha cared only for himself, not Serbia, not the Black Hand. This is war. Deserters are shot. Like dogs. Maybe you come for the notebook. The one the German wanted? Maybe you want this. The English Lord's necklace. It is mine to sell. The money for the Black Hand. Then you will see. Somewhere, sometime, within a month, in a year, we strike. We will start a fire. A fire that will destroy the Austrian oppressors, destroy Europe, and all Serbs will know freedom. I must leave. I must get on a lifeboat. Once again, I must ask for your help. Find a way to let me board a lifeboat unnoticed. Women and children first is the rule. What? How? A disguise? No, I die like a man. You can get me into the first class? To the boats? What can I give you? Never. It is for Serbia. Quickly, what do you take? Take it and give me. Give it to me. If I disguise myself, I can reach the boats. The sea! It's coming in!
See you again. Now get up on the boat deck. The steerage passengers are still below. They're waiting for the word to go to the boats. Now get up on the boat deck.
What do you want? He's mine now. No one will know. He'll have a good life with me instead of that penniless girl. Leave. I'm getting on that boat. The letter. You have it? It can ruin us. Ruin me. I'll trade you. The letter for the child. Hurry! The letter for the child. Here. Take it. Take it. The letter. Yes, let me have it. What a fool! You don't have a seat in the boat.
My orders are to allow nobody above this deck. Orders to be maintained. Last thing we need's a riot. If you go down there, I can't guarantee you'll come back. It's dangerous down there. Quickly now. If I'm still here when you return, I'll let you back up.
Don't push. Keep your hands well inside the boats.
You got him back. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You did the right proper thing, you did. You got me thanks. Go on. Get up top with my sister and the baby. Save them.
No, Jack, no. Not without you.
Hush now. Hush. There'll be no luck for men like me up top. I'll try me luck back here, in the stern. Get moving.
It's best I be going now. Take me to the boats.
Thank you. I'll not forget this.
He's first class, I mean. I'll never forget what you done. God protect you.
I say, old bean, absolute madhouse, don't you think? People running hither and thither, no organization, no plan of attack.
Henry doesn't think the situation calls for panic.
Lunatics, all of them, running about like rabbits with a stoat at the hole.
The lapse in social order is absolutely shocking.
Boats! Ha! If I were captain.
Such people, they're not dressed for first cabin, like those two immigrants on the second-class stairwell. Really, something should be done. The woman's quite upset.
Sodding foreigners.
I can't possibly get in these boats.
I agree. Packing the women off in such crowded quarters.
Frightfully cramped.
Like tinned mullet.
The Titanic is perfectly safe, isn't it?
I say, I'm in need of a gin.
Not now, Henry, not now. The officer there, he wants me in the boat.
They say the smoking room's still open.
Goodness, I do believe I hear running water.
Perhaps we can play a few hands with that Frenchman.
Henry, I do think we should stay here with the boats.
Blast it all, Ribena. Pitch yourself in. I say, old bean, coming with. Suit yourself then. Cheerio.
Going to the devil full of gin. Georgia, on deck, I suppose, with the women and children. Or Sasha, she wouldn't stay with me. Not much point to me now, is there? Maybe there never was. Won't be much longer now, will it? She's sinking quickly. Cheers, and good luck to you.
Bonsoir, mon ami. Sit if you like. Talk to me. The Titanic is dying, but the games are still being played. Even here. Is that why you have come? For a game? To while away the time? My stakes? Why, mon ami, we play for souls. At least a substitute thereof.
We must play for something real. Something a man would die for. Regardez. A carte d'entrée. A pass to the lifeboats. With this, you have life. Looks familiar, eh? What do you wish to put down in return? Ah, jewelry. Such diamonds. Quite valuable. Almost as beautiful as the Lady Georgia. Bien. If you win, you receive the boat pass. If I win, I get the necklace. Let's begin. Mad. A draw. Take the diamonds. I shall take back the pass. Try your luck. We must play for something real. Something a man would die for. What do you wish to put down in return? Ah, jewelry. Such diamonds. Quite valuable. Almost as beautiful as the Lady Georgia. Bien. If you win, you receive the boat pass. If I win, I get the necklace. Let's begin. You have won. Here. Deliverance. Of a kind. Another game, mon ami? Well, maybe I see you again. Before you die. Adieu.
Help me, please. Quickly. God, thank you. Why has he done this? Meet me then on the boat deck with the necklace. It's a new start. Go, now, we'll leave together.
The irritating habit of appearing most unexpectedly. Ah, such disapproving looks. And you are wrong. I will leave the ship alive. Get me off this ship and the painting and its plans are yours. I am a patriot, but I prefer to be a living, but not a dead patriot. I think Mr. Riviera has given you something, yes? Do we make a deal? The pass for the painting. A deal. But first, the pass.
The boats are full. There's no more room. No more. When these boats go, that's it. We're trapped. We'll drown. I'm getting on, you understand? They'll throw out somebody else. I've got money. I'll give them thousands. I've got to get on a boat.
Stand away from the boats. It's women and children. Women and children only. I'll shoot. Come closer and I'll... Women and children first.
See what I said about moonless nights? Number 14 and 16 are being filled. Help the passengers. The last thing we need to write. Be patient. There are still women waiting. Step back! Boats 14 and 16 are next.
Over there. He might let you on that boat. Hurry. Oh, God, please, hurry.
It isn't. These are the last two boats, 2 and 4. Be patient. There are still women waiting. Reassure the passengers. If they panic, we'll save no one. Yes, keep them calm. I'll see what I can do. Look, return here in a few minutes. There may be room. No promises now. Just come back. Don't forget. Last two boats, 2 and 4. Be patient. There are still women waiting. Look, return here in a few minutes. There may be room. No promises now. Just come back. Don't forget.
I'll never forget what you've done. Thank you. That officer there, he might let you on that boat. Hurry. Oh, God, please, hurry.
Done your best to help. Quick, we've space for one more. Get in. Damn it. Now! There's no more time. Get in, you can go. Get in, damn you, it's an order. Tell them we did our best. Tell them.
had left the sinking ship without the rubaiyat, nor did he have the real Lambeth diamonds. The Black Hand never got its funds, money intended to finance a wave of terrorism across the Balkans. One of the intended targets, the heir to the Austrian throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand. His murder might have started a war. We were lucky. We got peace instead. As for the painting, it left with me. The plans proved useless. In the month following the sinking, the War Office scrapped the proposed deployments in a cost-cutting measure. But the canvas? As the only artifact saved from the Titanic, the painting became famous. Along with its creator, a rather excitable Austrian named Adolf Hitler, who makes a lucrative career to this day, peddling overpriced alpine vistas to the carriage trade. I left the ship with Willie's notebook. Eventually, it found its way to the Russians. The Tsar's secret police were grateful, and the names Stalin, Lenin, and Trotsky vanished from history. The communist revolution aborted. I didn't really realize it then, but that night 30 years ago was one of history's most crucial. Though the Titanic carried 1,500 to the death, a peaceful world would be their epitaph. Our mission was a success. With no wars or bloody revolutions to derail us, prosperity and progress has flowed into every corner of the globe, bringing humanity a security known only to the privileged few before the Titanic sailed. Today, on April 14th, 1942, I am leaving the service to retire in a world at peace. One can only imagine how different it could have been, would have been, if we had failed.